James, do you have any disagreement with his definition, his proposed definition?
Sort of. I disagree that it's complicated. It's extraordinarily simple, as a matter of fact. It looks like Lake Superior, but it's about as deep as a mud puddle. If you want a definition for critical race theory, I'll give it to you in 2 words. It's race Marxism. That's all it is. It is the division of society into a stratified situation where race is taken as the central construct for understanding inequality. That's a direct quote from Gloria Ladstone Billings and William Tate IV in their paper Toward a Critical Race Theory of Education from 1995. So it is a study of the stratification of society through a Marxian lens. I will prove that to you in just a second. So that centers race in all understanding of inequality. So while you gave a good insider's definition, it's not complicated at all. It's pit whiteness as a form of bourgeois property and the people who have access to that against people who are said to be excluded from that as whiteness as property, as Cheryl Harris, 1993, where she says in particular among its property rights that whiteness carries, that whiteness has the fundamental right to exclude. And so the construction or the claim is that race was constructed by white people, originally from Europe, so that they could exercise privilege and power and maintain it for themselves over people of color. This is a social stratification theory. When it's said to be that these people...
I will say his saying that CRT is just race Marxism, I think is the best, shortest, most succinct way to explain what CRT is.
Yeah. You use that all the time.
Yes. The only problem with that is that, unfortunately, because of the last 30 years of politics, if you talk to a normie who doesn't understand that wokeism is Marxism, or is at least rooted in Marxism and socialism, if you say that to a normie, their brain's going to shut off.
Yeah, they see you as
like,
some
Marxism.
right-wing weirdo. Yeah.
What
Some right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
And
Very
also, a lot of young people hear Marxism and they get, super excited. They're like, oh, great. I love it. That's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. We need more Marxism.
But that's what's so annoying. It's like when we had that conversation with what's their faces?
Yeah. The CRT guys. Sam and I can't remember the other guy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But and the whole thing is just like this dishonest game of hide the ball where they try to pretend that CRT is not anti-liberal and that it's not Marxism or socialism.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, and it's so dishonest because like they all know, anyone that knows about, anyone who purports to be a CRT advocate knows that it's fucking Marxism. That's race Marxism. And they just lie and lie and lie because they know that if it gets out publicly that CRT is Marxism, then it's going to totally sink its popularity. Is going to totally sink its people's ability to straw man about it and pretend like it's just teaching history in public discourse. And that's why there's that one of the greatest clips on this ever is Joy Reid asking Kimberly Crenshaw, is CRT Marxism? And she just kind of goes,
doesn't answer.
And then doesn't answer the question for 2 minutes.
Joy,
just goes off on a dance.
You know it's Marxism. Why you asked me that on the air? I didn't know it was Marxism. I'm sorry. But they had a long lunch about Marxism after that fucking interview.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. So I'm not sure strategically if it's a good idea to categorize critical race theory as Marxism, or to use Marxism in terms of critical race theory, even though I completely agree with that categorization.
It depends where your audience is, I guess.
Well, yeah, and also it really does create this immediate tribal divide that I don't know is necessarily useful in the current climate. I feel like both sides don't like racism. I feel like conservatives don't want to be called racist, and one of the things they get most upset about is the fact there are so many on the left that are just calling them racist, Nazi, willy-nilly. So I feel like playing up the aspect of CRT that is basically racist. I mean, you're basically teaching racism in school is a better strategy than...
I mean, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I think I kind of disagree because, I mean, I agree that calling it Marxism it depends on the audience. I think it's a better discourse thing. You're probably going to have people that are knowledgeable enough that calling it Marxist is fine. And it's just annoying because so much of these conversations is literally just trying to get them to admit what CRT is and them lying their ass off.
Yeah,
about
Sitch's law. These whole debates are Sitch's law, arguing
but
over
no,
definitions.
but it's not quite. Well, it's like a dishonest form, because when I talk about people arguing about definitions, I generally mean that they're honestly arguing about definition. They just have an honest disagreement about how a word or a term is defined.
Mhm.
But with CRT, it just feels so incredibly dishonest.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen or interacted with someone who's argued with me about CRT and felt like they were coming to it and had some honest disagreement with me about it.
Right.
I've not encountered this.
The people arguing in favor of CRT come off extremely sneaky and weaselly, as if their ultimate goal is to get CRT into classrooms, even though they know everyone doesn't want it in there. There is, I mean, we had the last school type debate was over creationism. Remember the conservatives wanted to teach intelligent design. They had this huge push to teach the controversy, teach intelligent design alongside evolution. The CRT people are kind of really just trying to sidestep that whole debate process. They're like, we'll just teach this, and better to teach it without any permission and have people get mad than to actually seek permission.
Right. A-Rog for $20. Thanks so much, A-Rog. Says, hey now, here's an 8-hour explanation of why Jangles is a disingenuous idiot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I mean, listen, that does feel like exactly something I would say.
Yeah, no. A-Team reigns supreme. That's awesome.
Coyote Doge for $20. Thank you. Says, finally, Lindsay can school you on just how evil these people are. Evil, Adam. Do you hear me say it? That evil.
Yes. I actually responded to that super chat in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Evil has to be delineated by its voluntarism. And you got me if we're talking about Jangles, because I do think Jangles is voluntarily muddying the waters. Like, in Jangles' mind, he probably thinks, okay, well, it's better if we teach all this stuff in school, even if people don't like it, as long as we're teaching them my religion, Jangles' religion. He's like, okay, well, this is better for everyone.
Well, this is why whenever going forward, whenever I've had an argument or disagreement with someone about CRT, I ask them, I say, are you a socialist? Because I've never had a liberal argue CRT with me and try to have this, it's not really anti-liberal argument. It's only been people. It's so funny. You have all these socialists try to argue with me about how CRT is not really socialism.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, buddy. Okay, sure. I don't hear any liberals making this argument. But
this is their big push for socialism?
It is.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
People are held in conflict with one another. Now we have a social stratification theory combined with a conflict theory. And when it's said to be done in order to figure out fundamental inequalities or to understand inequalities so that those can be redressed through redistribution of resources and access, which we call racial equity in this case, then you...
Hey, can you look up the other one and see if the other one's synced? The other CRT debate? This one's on. I pulled off of Sean's channel.
Yes.
But I'm discovering Sean doesn't know how to sync audio.
Sean, what are you doing to us?
What's going on, Sean?
Sean, come on. You can't sync your audio.
We're sticklers for detail here.
You actually have a Marxian theory of race. That's what critical race theory is. But let's not...
This looks like a dub Japanese movie here.
Does Better Discourse have their own YouTube channel or something?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I'll check. I have a feeling that it was probably on their end.
That the anti-sync is? You can check it out.
Not belabor the point. Let's just read their definition from their own book, Critical Race Theory and Introduction, by Richard Delgado, one of the founders of critical race theory, who, by the way, at the founding conference in Madison, Wisconsin in 1989...
No, it's not. What the fuck? It's Sean's version. Sean, what are you doing? Why did you upload an unsynced version?
All right,
Sean, what are you doing?
We're gonna do all of us a huge favor,
Oh
and we're
my
gonna
God.
switch out the.
Okay, wait. Where are we at? Let's make sure.
We're
at
right
7
where he's
minutes
starting to read the
28
definition.
seconds.
Well, I
Okay.
think he did some trimming, and that's why it got out of sync. So.
Sean, what are you doing?
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.